So according to Dark Horse Comics, we have the premiere of a new pulp sensation with the Black Beetle #1.
And it's a good time to be a Wolverine fan. We've got a new one for you, Savage Wolverine #1.
And it's that time of the month again for all Batman fans as Scott Snyder continues with Death of the Family. So we have some reviews for you today.
Aye.
And we're going to kick off with Dark Horse Comics' The Black Beetle, #1 of 4, by Francesco Francavilla.
Okay.
Is that what we decided on?
If you say so.
Apologies, as per last week, for butchering any names. So this is our first Dark Horse comic book on the show.
Is it?
Yes, to my knowledge. I don't think we've reviewed one yet. So
if you say so.
I'm going to say so.
You're the facts man today.
Brilliant. So how would you explain this comic?
It's kind of your spy, superhero, noir.
Pulp noir. Yeah.
Yeah, all of those words.
Yeah, it's a crime thriller with a superhero in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think of it?
Okay, good. I thought it's weird because we believe that this is a new property.
Yes, but it really doesn't read like a new property.
Yes. So, that largely defined my experience of reading the book.
Okay.
Because essentially what we have here, or what it seems like we have, is a superhero, a vigilante with no powers.
Yeah.
That seems to be quite clever.
Yeah.
That goes around with a cape and an inner monologue attempting to fight crime.
Bit of a Batman on a budget, if you will.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, I don't know a lot about this character. I don't know his origin, but for that reason, this book is mostly concerned with plot, right?
Yeah.
It can't be concerned with some of the things we like about Batman is his personality, the theory of it. We think about Batman, we got all this history about Batman, but with this, we have to largely focus on plot. And as I always say, it's very, very difficult in terms of plot to do anything that's particularly unique, that we haven't seen before, that's really going to hook you. And I felt this way about this book. I felt like there was nothing particularly, there was no great hook that I hadn't seen before or experienced before. Having said that, I did like the look of it.
Yeah.
I like the way it exists on the page. I like the color scheme. I like the noir feel. I don't think that's enough for me to make me buy the second issue. It's only a mini-series, but
1 of 4.
Still, I don't think that's that aesthetic being aesthetically pleasing and me liking the way it looks is enough for me to continue buying it every week. But it wasn't bad storytelling. It wasn't a bad comic.
I disagree. I really, really enjoyed this book. I was able to, I did wonder, who is this character? And I spent a good while on Google this morning trying to find him, and to no avail. But I mean, all I took from it is he is this kind of, he's a vigilante, just go with it. And I did that, and I had a great time reading it. I love that it's set in the kind of 30s, 40s America, but in a kind of Gotham-style way. The town's made up, cult city. I really like that. I liked the elements of mystery. I like that it is essentially a crime noir with vigilante in it. I thoroughly enjoyed this book, and I will definitely be picking up.
I just feel like that premise isn't new.
I don't think it's new.
I can't give you an example of
No, I get what you mean.
Do you know what I mean? But I didn't feel wholly original to me.
I don't think it's new, but I'm able to look past that, if you will, and just enjoy the book for what it is.
I enjoyed reading it as I would enjoy reading any comic that's really well made and well put together, but just it didn't get its claws into me enough.
So I say it's a pick it up, you not so much.
If you like that sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely. So next book we're going to talk about is the Savage Wolverine.
Yes, Savage Wolverine #1.
Yeah. By Cho. Frank Cho. I want to go with Frank Cho.
Let's go with that.
Let's go with that.
Say so. We read it digitally.
We did read it digitally.
It's kind of an afterthought. I didn't pick it up in the shop.
Yeah, it didn't really jump out at me on the shelf, so I didn't want to pick up the first issue, so I digitally downloaded it off the Marvel App Store, and it's the story. It's a. I would just say it's kind of a random Wolverine tale
in Savage Land, which I believe is an established milieu already.
Yeah, it's very famous in the X-Men mythos and become more so in the Marvel mythos.
Yeah.
And
Khazar, I think, originates from the Savage Land.
I think so, yes. And the Savage Land, for those that don't know, is a prehistoric island where dinosaurs and Neanderthals still roam around. And Wolverine has an adventurer helping out agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. What did you think of this book?
Well, there are some not good reviews online, and I read them, and I was happy to go into this book. I'd seen some panels, and I thought I liked those panels, and I was happy to go into this book thinking, you know, on its side.
Yeah.
Honestly, and I don't want to be mean, I like to be constructive. This really isn't a good comic book by any measure. It reads like the comic books of the 30s and 40s and even 50s who didn't understand the medium and who...
Very expositional.
Oh, yeah.
Considering it's a writer-artist as well, I found that very surprising.
It was hugely expositional. It was literally writing and bad writing things that were already on the panel. Wolverine lunged on top of an image of him lunging. So there's that. The other thing is that the panel layouts that are chosen here, whilst they look very interesting, and you know they're nice, cool layouts on the page. If you looked at them from afar, they're aesthetically pleasing. They don't really make much sense. They're kind of chaotic.
Here, there, and everywhere.
It's a bit unclear as to what's happening. It's not a very interesting way to tell the story. You could tell me that, well, it's supposed to be like that because he's supposed to be this chaotic clan, but I wouldn't really buy into that.
Yeah.
So in general, it's just a big fail. Like, it's a really bad comic book written by someone, and I know this not to be true, but it feels like it's written by someone who really doesn't understand how to tell a story in this medium, which is kind of not good.
Not really, and I mean, I pretty much agree with all those points. I didn't like the look of Wolverine in this book. I really think he wasn't drawn very well. He was drawn too tall for my liking and quite skinny instead of the stocky short guy that we normally know. And the woman in there kind of annoyed me in this. She's from the Savage Land and she's wearing this bikini set, and it's bad. It's very, I mean, go back to our sexism comics debate, but it was really...
Well, I mean, I think that might be... I think Wolverine seems to know her, so I think it's a character as well that I don't know much about, but, you know...
Yeah, I really didn't like that book.
No, and I mean, also, there's a lot of negative space in this book, because there's a lot of white space.
A lot of white.
And there's no reason for it, though. Like, one of the things that's great about comic books is, I've talked about this before, but the economy in storytelling, and it just seems to waste paper in this.
And just to quickly do a contrast, because there are tons of Wolverine books out there, I actually did pick up Wolverine Max #2 while we were in the shop, because those drop covers... and I remember mentioning on the show when I last talked about it that I didn't enjoy it. #2 was so much better than the first book, and it is a really good Wolverine story. The artwork in it's changing all the time, but it's definitely worth picking up that particular book.
Cool.
So, last book to talk about today is the Batman, as per usual, #16. The Joker continues going after the Bat family. What more do you have to say about this?
Well, what I do want to say about this is that there is a reason that this is the only book that we talk about every week when it comes out.
Yes.
Because it feels like it changes the game every week that it comes out. Something happens every week. Something definitively happens every week. that it comes out. And the covers are extraordinary. Like, they're so indicative of what's in the book, and they're great to look at. Just wonderful. We recently saw Argo.
Yeah.
And that's a film that is just so, it's defined by its suspense.
Yeah.
And this series, each issue, I think, is defined by a different method of storytelling. And I think this issue, issue 16, part 4, is defined by its suspense. This book is all about suspense, and it has a whole load of it everywhere. Yeah. You can't, Batman going through Arkham Asylum and trying to find out what's happening, and you unaware of the fate of his friends, and still the title of the series is completely informing how you read it. You're thinking about what's happening all the time. You're thinking about, where is this death, something's gonna happen. You're nervous because you love these characters. And I was suspenseful. Capullo's art continues.
Capullo's art is incredible.
It just continues like an onslaught.
The fact that Joker's face has changed colour, it's now this dark grey because it's rotting on his face, is disgusting but amazing.
Yeah. I'm so, I mean, what this is kind of the crescendo almost before the fall. Like, we get this huge build, climax in, and I think issue 17 is just going to be that smash of the symbol, and everything is just going to ring everywhere. So I loved it just as much as I've loved all the others, and I can't believe this is only the 4th issue in the story. It feels like,
and it ends next month. Next month is the final of the
And it feels like there's so much story being told. Now, this is an example of economy and how to tell a story.
True that.
And just very briefly to contrast between this and Wolverine, in this we have Scott Snyder understands silence. So much happens without words because we can see it, and he respects us, and that isn't present in Wolverine, Savage Wolverine. Yeah,
no, definitely. I mean, I have nothing to add to that. You're 100% right. Batman is absolutely incredible, and Scott Snyder's doing such fantastic work with this book.
It's great, and like, this is going to go down as one of the great Batman stories, both this and Court of Owls. It's amazing.
Which comes out in hardback in March, I think, which I'm very excited for. So congratulations to the Ashlow Jones and Angel Rodriguez. You guys won the digital downloads from last week, and if you check your inbox, there should be the 2 downloads in there.
Yeah, and if you want to win a book that was on Dale's top 5 comics of last year, Space Punisher, issues 1 to 4, then leave a comment on the video below, and we'll pick one at random, and we'll announce the winner next week.
Indeed we shall. Also, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Comic Book Show 1.
Yeah. Wednesday, on Wednesday, we're going to be continuing on finding the greatest superhero of all time.
And on Friday, we have yet another big issue for you.
We'll see you then.
Cool.